Hello Stampers, Brenda Hillard at createwithbrenda.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm here to help you every step of the way in your creative journey. So another project today. I am so excited. You know, we launched the new catalog. Everybody knows that, right? On May 4th. So here we are. It is Friday, May 14th. And we are getting close to the middle of the month. If you have thought about joining, I hope you'll hop on the special that they have right now when you sign up as a Stampin' Up! Team member. And I would love to have you be part of my Create with Brenda team. You, for $99, get to choose $155 in product. That's 56 extra dollars in product with this brand new catalog, and it's awesome. It's awesome. That's really what it is $99, because you even get free shipping. So there's going to be a little bit of tax, but that's it. So if you're interested in joining, or you've thought about joining, please give me a call. I'd be happy to help. All right, I have more new product for us. This was a card that I did for a swap. And so I had to hold it back at least until everybody had received theirs and that swap period was over. So I hope you'll love this as much as I do. Let me show you the card and then I will explain the product. Now, I recorded this prior to the go live of the catalog, so I still can't show you the inside, but I can tell you and show you some of the products that I used. All right, here's our card. And the product that I used is the hand-penned designer series paper. How beautiful is this? It's just so soft and so, I don't know. When I look at it, it reminds me of like my grandma's handkerchiefs. She always had these pretty embroidered flowers. And so I hope you love it as much as I do. And you can see I've got all the coordinating colors up there. So it goes with a lot of our cardstock. It's just a fun pack. And the other thing I'm going to be using is the Flowers of Friendship bundle, which includes this fun stamp set. Look at the font. How fun, right? And this little strip of flowers. For today's project, I'm going to be using this flower and then this that coordinates with the punch. And then I'll be using this sentiment and this sentiment. So, and the punch is the large flower, the small flower, and both size leaves. So that's kind of cool, and I'll show you how I'm going to use that here in a bit. If you're new to stamping and you don't know about our punches, by pushing forward on this little lever, it opens, and then when you're done, you can push it back so it stays nice and flat for storage. And the other tool I'm going to be using, or product, sorry, let me back up, is the Scalloped contour dies. These are so fun. I have another project coming that uses the same DSP and the same die set, and that one I'm excited to show you as well. So, demonstrate for you. All right, I think that kind of wraps up the new products that I'm using. My inks today are going to be the Memento Black ink, the new in color Soft Succulent, and then the other new in color Polished Pink. So, all right, here's the pieces that you need. You need a piece of basic white cardstock that measures 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have a piece of mint macaron that measures 2 3/4 by 5.5 inches. This is that hand-penned DSP, and I'm using the striped side Measures 2.5 by 5.25. I have a piece of basic white that measures 3 3/4, or sorry, 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. And then I had die cut these prior. So is what this is the soft succulent cardstock. And then I used the second to the largest scalloped frame from the Scalloped contour dies. So not only does it scallop the edge, but you get this really fun little stitched edge too. And then this little tag that we're going to use comes from the Many Messages die. And is what I did is I just cut a piece of cardstock that was like 1 1/4. And let me grab it here. I just laid it across right here. And then I was able to die cut this tag, and that heart. So now I've got a couple of things for another card. But the main tag that I wanted was this scalloped. You know, it's like a real small scalloped tag. And that's how I did that, using my Stampin' Cut and Emboss, the Boss. All right, so to do my stamping, I want to bring in my Stamparatus. And if you don't have a Stamparatus tool, you are so gonna want one. So is what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to flip back here. So is what I did is I mounted my stamp on the acrylic plate, and the plates are gridded. Oops, I still have some ink on there. So when I lined it up, I just made sure that it was straight on the grid so that when I stamped to my cardstock, it was straight, okay? So then is what I like to do, and I'll do this even a little bit more. I'm going to ink this up. I'm going to stamp it down because then I can see where it's at, right? And so when I go to place my little scallop tag, I'm just going to slide up so that it's centered, and then I can anchor with one of the magnets. So now when I ink up my sentiment and I flip it down, I can stamp, and it's just where I want it. Okay, so I do have one more part to, I have to think about this a minute. Yeah. So is what I'm going to do is take this off, and I'm going to bring in my other hinged plate, and this has that flower spray from the Flowers of Friendship stamp set. I'm going to put this in, and then I'm going to bring in my piece of basic white that measures 2 3/4 by 3 3/4, and I'm going to position that right in the center. So when I press down like this, I want my, when I'm saying in the center, I want my spray of flowers in the center of my piece of basic white cardstock. And for this, I want to use the soft succulent. So is what I can do is I can ink up my stamp. Okay, and then I'm going to just lay it down here and give it a rub. And then, can you see right here, like I kind of missed a little spot? That's the beauty of the Stamparatus. So I can just re-ink, stamp again, and I get the perfect image every time. I love that. And like I said, I had this set up prior because I did this for a swap, and I think I did 20 of these cards, and it was just perfect to just keep putting the piece of paper in there, ink it up, stamp it, ink it up, stamp it, ink it up, stamp it. It was good. So there's our focal piece for the card. My next is I have this little, well, let's say I had a little scrap of basic white. Let's just grab another one. All right. So is what we're going to do with this is we're going to bring in the big flower from this set. There's this one, and then there's the smaller. And using the new In Color Polished Pink, I'm going to tap around on my ink pad. And then when I stamp it, the reason I'm stamping it like this is, can you see how when you put the paper in, the flower goes up and down? So when I stamp this, I am going to stamp it so that my petals are up and down as well. And the reason I do that is this. So when I open my punch and I have it upside down and I put my paper in, there it is. It fits in there perfectly, right? And so as soon as you get it lined up, you can give it a small pinch just to hold it in place, and then punch. And I get this fun flower, and I didn't have to, manipulate my paper and have it all angled. If you stamp it with the flowers up and down and on the edge, when you bring your paper in, you get to simply just punch your flower. So if I were to stamp another one here, I want the petals to go up and down. I'm going to ink up my stamp. Stamp it so the petals go up and down. And then when I go to punch, I just simply push it in and line it up, give it a soft pinch, and then a good pinch, and another perfect flower. These flowers are really, really fun, and I'm going to show you kind of a different way to use them right here. And I actually saw this during our on tour, and then I saw it again in the annual catalog. Had a picture with that on as well. So I'm going to take my punched flower now, and I'm going to cut it apart. So I'm going to snip toward the center, and then I'm going to snip across. I don't want any of the circle on there, okay? So I have one of those. I need quite a few of them actually. And I'm going to cut straight across because I don't want the circle, and one more. So cut straight across, and then just up the side of the petal a little bit. All right, so what I'm going to do is bring in my Tombow liquid adhesive, and I'm going to give these two outside petals on the top flower just a little bit of adhesive, and I'm going to glue that down so that I cover up my stamping lines. This is going to make my flower look like it's pink. And then for this one, I want to take my mini Stampin' Dimensionals, and I suppose I could use a full size, but maybe I will. Let's see what a full size does on there. It's really close, but it works. Then what I'm going to do is put that right down here to make sure. Oops. I'm going to take just one of my different petals, because this one, it didn't seem to be covering quite the way I wanted it to at the bottom. So I'm going to cut off that circle again. I'm going to fix my edges just a touch. I'm going to put my dimensional, and let's try that. That's much better. So then I get this three-dimensional looking flower. Okay? So, same thing. I'm going to put some glue here, there. I'm going to add this petal to cover my soft succulent ink. And then let's cut. We'll cut again. All right. Glue it down. And then we'll cut across. And again, I'm just going to fix up my edges. We'll give it a dimensional. And I'm just gonna, I have to move this one just a little bit so that it covers up my soft succulent ink at the top. And then this one gets the three-dimensional petal. And then we have one more flower to do. So let me grab another petal here. Let's give it some glue. As you can see, this one is just a little bit putsy, but I can honestly say that the results are worth the putts. How about that? So I'm going to cut this one apart. And then again, we'll add the dimensional. So you guys, at the top of my screen, you'll see my host code. Whoops, that one didn't stay where I wanted it. You'll see my host code for May. And this month, when you place a $50 product order with me, I will send you the one of our great silicone sheets. They work so well for any kind of hot gluing or just our adhesives to keep your work surface from being all sticky. And so I hope you'll check out the new catalog. There's so many good things in there that it's not hard to spend $50 this month, because it's kind of like one of those things where you just want it all. And the one thing I did want to tell you too is, if you are wanting to get in on my in color club, you should do that. And you can do that by going to Create with Brenda and checking out my in color club post. It's a great deal. And it's a great way to collect all of the new in colors. Free project sheets, 5 cards a month for 3 months. So 15 card ideas with the products that come in the in color club kit. Check it out. All right, now that I've got this together, we're going to take our stamp and seal. And I'm just going to add some seal, and then we're going to center that in the stitching. I think I have that a little wider than I want. I hope I... Let's do this little piece. You really want it to measure 2.5 by 3 3/4 so that it fits in there. And I will do a correction in the description below, along with all of the links and whatever for my In Color Club and my host code and all the good things happening here at Create with Brenda. So there's our focal piece. Next, I'm going to take our Designer Series paper, and I'm just going to add some Stampin' Seal to the back of that piece. Center it on my mint macaron, like so. I'm going to bring in my card base, and we'll give that a good crease with our bone folder. And then add some seal. And we're just going to put this close to the left side, but not tight up against it. Leave just a little strip of white there. So there's that. We'll add our focal piece here using dimensionals. And I'm just going to snip along here because I like to use every last bit of my dimensionals. So now I can just take these off and use them up. All right, take our backings off. And I'm just going to set this right on our card. And then our little sentiment here is just going to be right flat down on our piece. So there's the look. Don't you love it? And then, did you have any of this Just Jade gingham ribbon? Well, it blends perfectly. It's the right shade of green as the mint macaron and the new soft succulent. So as what I did here is I just tied a quick little bow. And as what I'm going to do is cut, just give it a trim. All right. And our trusty little glue dots. Grab one of those. And I'm going to give that just a little bow right down here at the bottom. And I want to make sure it doesn't cover up our sentiment. How cute is the font on there, right? This set is really, really fun. I'm sure that I'm going to have a lot of suggestions for you with this fun stamp set. And now, a card is never a card without a little bit of bling, right? These are the wonderful gems, and this green, and it's got like a little dusting of gold metallic in them, and it's just the right complement to our card with the different shades of green. So there's our card. Pretty, isn't it? And do you see the dimension with our flowers? Yeah, it adds a lot. So to finish off the inside of our card, the outside says little card, big thanks. So on the inside, I just want to stamp, and I'm going to use again the sentiment from the Flowers of Friendship. This thank you for everything. So let's bring in our, wrong color. I want our soft succulent, and I'm going to ink this up, and then we'll give it a press, and then we'll give it that count of 3 or 5, whatever you choose, and lift. So we get the fun impression. And then before I close, I'm going to take this big leaf, this one from the stamp set. I'm going to ink it up, and I'm just going to give this a little leaf to kind of the continuity there. And then, whoops, well, there's my scrap of basic white. It just fell out. All right. And just on the flap of the envelope, I'll give that a little leaf as well. So here's our card. Fun, right? Give it a try. Check it out. Host code's up here. createwithbrenda.com for my website. Have a great day, everybody, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.